Hello, world.
What's up?
I'm Christi.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are the Leveilles. Welcome back to Law Love Leveille. We are your favorite law school lovebirds who have a passion for God
A passion for travel.
and just for exploring life together. And so, of course, before we get started, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, stay up to date as we post new content.
Okay, so members of the jury, today we are going to talk about the truth and the lie in terms of how we met. And so, of course, there's always her story, my story, and then there's history. So we want to explore those different stories and what I found to be the truth and the lie concerning the night that we met, or when we met, and then Christy's going to give her version. Well, actually, you know what? Ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay.
So talk to the people about the night we met. Set it up for them.
Okay, so just a little background. Of course, you all know we are attorneys, and so we met in law school. We went to different law schools, and so we actually met at a
Go
law
Noles!
school. We met at a law school conference in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. And so this conference had competitions, mock trial, moot court, and just different events. And so he was a part of a mock trial team. I was the coach of a moot court team. And so it was the last night of the conference. And every year they have, some big shebang. And
Yes.
so this year it was a masquerade ball. I was sitting outside of the ballroom when a gentleman...
Just dripping.
A gentleman walked up to me and introduced himself. Hey, how are you doing? My name is Kevin Leveille. Yada yada. We talked a little bit about what type of law we wanted to practice, that sort of thing, and that was it. He was like, "Okay, see you later," and he walked away. So
You're not going to tell them it was love at first sight?
Well, I didn't think anything of it, you guys. It was a conference. So, of course, people were introducing themselves the entire weekend to, people from other schools and whatnot. So it didn't seem abnormal, nothing like that. So the night progressed, and later I was inside the ballroom with a few of my friends from my school, just hanging out on the dance floor.
Being fine.
When he approached again, actually I believe it was one of your friends who came first and was speaking to somebody else in our group, whatever. And so then he came over and asked me if I would like to dance. I said no, I'm good. I'm okay. And so then he asked me if I would like something to drink. I told him no, I don't drink.
And so she lied to the people. Talk to them about that part. This is the lie part right here. Go ahead. Don't gloss over this part.
So I told him I don't drink, and I don't. Kinda. But anyways, so I said I don't. And he was just like, "Oh, really? So you don't drink milk? You don't drink water? You just don't drink nothing?" And so then he had me. I thought that was really, really funny. And so we just started talking. He offered to give me some water, so we went to get some water and ended up sitting over there by the water station, and just
All
talking.
type of drinks. The plot thickens.
Right. And so ended up talking basically the whole night. I have no idea how much time passed until one of your friends came. And actually, one of our really good friends came over and was just like, "Hey, it's time to go." So, and then he walked me to my room because the conference was in a hotel. And so he walked me up to my room, and later I received a text from him, and he just said, "Hey."
Oh, so you just jumped to walked you to your room, but you didn't tell the people how I got the digits, how you gave me your number. You just don't want to talk about. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so of course, I gave him my number. After that long conversation, it seemed worthwhile. So I did. I gave him my number. And my phone was in my room. I had left it And so after he walked me to my room, I did receive a text from him, hey, this is Kevin Leveille. It was really nice speaking with you, and you have such a beautiful spirit. And so I was actually really taken aback by that, because, most people were like, oh, you're such a beautiful person, da-da-da-da, whatever, and not really a meaningful compliment. And so, I was really, kind of like, wow. And so from there, I guess, as they say, the rest is history.
The rest is history. So what's your truth and a lie?
Okay. My truth would be that I would say definitely the text message. If the conversation didn't sway me one way, the text message definitely did. It really piqued my interest in him and, what we could be. I would say the lie would be me acting as if I wasn't interested, I guess.
Uh-oh. Okay, now talk about that.
So, prior to meeting him, I had said not interested in dating, had just left not a situation, but, kind of a just horrible dating scene. Let's just put it that way. And so I was just like, dating's off, not interested, whatever. And so that's kind of how I approached him. So when he asked me to dance, no. You want some? No.
Right.
And so you're gonna have to work for it. But yeah, so he persisted, and here we are. So his story. His story
is always history, so let's start right there. But no, Christi has it mostly right from my recollection. I was walking to the masquerade ball, and so Christi has a thing for being on time. She is not on CPT time ever. And so I was going just to kind of scope out the scene, and she was sitting at a table on the entrance to the masquerade ball. And so I walked by, and we actually wrote a little blog about it. It's his story and her story on our website, our blog, lawlovelavelle.com. You can check it out. We'll put the links in the description box below. And I'm walking by, and I notice her noticing me. That's a lie. But she's just minding her business, and I think she was just on her phone. So I walked by and I noticed, and immediately her beauty caught my attention. And so looked at her, walked by again. It was something about her that kind of broke my neck a second time. I continued to proceed to the door. I was actually expecting to meet another young lady at that masquerade ball who had competed in the mock trial competition. We didn't know each other, but we said, hey, I'll kind of catch you tonight. And that third, neck break compelled me to just walk over and just introduce myself. It was a conference, it was a thing to do. You introduce yourself, where you're from, what are you studying? And we had a lot of symmetry in terms of what we wanted to do, and the type of people we wanted to be, the type of attorneys we wanted to be once we were done with our schooling. I was a second-year law student. Christi was a third-year law student. And so we talked, but as I began to ask her name, and these eyes began looking back at me. Look at the people right now. Look right in the camera. And so her eyes started peering at me, and it was just nothing but light. And don't do that. And so I asked her about just random questions that you ask another law student. What are you studying? And what do you want to do with your degree? And by the time she answered the third question, I felt my smile starting from right here and ending somewhere to the back of my head. She had me captivated, more so not by what she was saying, but there was just this light radiating from her. And so she was captivating in a whisper, very soft-spoken. Hey, my name is Christi. Oh, okay. But it really took me back, and I ended up leaving that conversation abruptly. I'm never lost for words. That was the very first moment I can remember being lost for words. If you ask me to talk, I can talk your head off. But in that moment, I was like, okay, you want to do international? All right, nice to meet you. I got to go. So it was an awkward ending, as awkward as it gets for men introducing themselves to a lady. I can tell you that. So I had to rebound. So I talked to one of my buddies. I needed a wingman, and I noticed Christi with her girls. I said, I'll give it a second shot, try to redeem myself. And so he approached the group, the gang of ladies. You know how the ladies get when they clicked up together on a dance floor. They won't give you the time, but I said, you know what, I have to shoot my shot. And so my buddy went in and started talking first, and I used that as a segue. And she's two-stepping on the dance floor. Hey, everybody. Hey, what's up? Long time no see. It's her third year. She knows everybody. And I asked her if she wanted to dance. While two-stepping, she's like, no, I don't want to dance. Translation, I don't want to dance with you. And so I was like, okay, so maybe she doesn't want to dance. Let me ask her if she wants something to drink. This is the lie. The lie was that she didn't drink. And I know typically if you're asking someone if they want to drink, most people are talking about alcoholic beverages. But she was like, no, I don't drink. And so I was like, so you just don't, you're one of those, you just food consumption, no water, no milk, no juice. You just, you don't quench a thirst or nothing. And she started giggling like this. And she was like, you know what? Okay, I'll have something to drink. I'll have some water. And we sat down in the corner. It was actually the entire conference, which was about 3.5 hours. We sat down, we talked about family, we talked about faith. We talked about some of the things that we're talking about now on our social media, but there was just this synergy that we had. It was almost as if we knew each other for years. We sat down and we talked and we talked. I noticed the young lady who was supposed to meet me coming in and walking with her friends, looking over. My friends are trying to tap me like, do you need salvation? Like, do we need to pull you out of here? But it was just a beautiful night. We, exchanged. We talked about a love for music, our upbringing. We had a similar faith-based upbringing. And so we connected on so many different levels in addition to law. So I asked for a number. She kindly gave it and walked her to her room. And I remember walking away from her room thinking, oh my God, what just happened to me? And I'm not sure if you ever met someone, and it may be not even in a relationship type of, in terms of, you looking to court someone, but in business, or it's just like this aha moment. Like, this was kind of like a destiny type of thing happening. I walked out of that conference telling one of my good friends, I think I just met my wife. And it wasn't until 4 years later that we actually got married, but I walked away thinking, I think I just met my wife. And there was something about Christi's spirit that completely rerouted my thinking in terms of what I wanted to do with relationships at that time. So the lie was she didn't want anything to drink. But my truth is, I knew that night, whether we didn't start dating immediately. It's kind of like immediately, 2 weeks later. Yeah. But I knew that I had met someone who had deposited something in my spirit that would change me. And so that's my truth.
Oh. Yay. So that's,
you need to segue from that part because I'm done.
That's our story, how we met. 2 truths and 2 lies.
2 truths and 2 lies. And so the good thing is, we'll leave you with this in terms of how we were able to have a long distance relationship. I was up in North Florida, she was in South Georgia, and just about 3 hours away. Our schedules were in sync. And so we both had classes that ended Thursday morning and wouldn't start again until the following week on a Monday night. Our schedules were completely in sync, so we alternated one weekend. Thursday I get out, let's say about 9, 10 o'clock. I'm in my car and I'm heading over to Georgia. And the entire weekend I was with Christi. The very next weekend she would be done, I think somewhere around 11, and she would come for the entire weekend and have to be back in school around 6 or so on that Monday. So we spent her last semester?
My last semester.
It was her last semester in law school.
Almost every weekend. Basically every weekend. And then after that, I went to grad school in DC, so the distance was a little further. But we made it work.
We made it work, sorta.
That's a story for a different day.
Yes, but we thank you for joining us.
Yes.
This was our story, a truth and a lie, and how we met.
Yes.
And we thank you for joining. And
Yes, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and we will see you next time.
see you. Bye-bye.